We begin today with a visit to a brand new purpose-built racetrack in America that's soon to become the home of the US Grand Prix.
It's been 4 years since Formula One last raced in the USA, but having struggled to find a permanent home, motorsport's premier category is hoping it has now secured its future in the country. Austin in Texas has been busy this past year, building a circuit to meet F1's exacting standards. They've named it Circuit of the Americas to live up to their ambitions for the project.
The vision was to make it really to be all-encompassing of our Latin America, of Mexico, of the United States, as well as Canada, and showing that it is worthy, that it is a global international motorsports destination.
Many other states were considered to host the US Grand Prix, but Texas, with its central location, made the perfect choice to set up a home for F1 in the country.
Austin is great because it's centrally located in the Americas. Within a short driving distance, there are 22 million people, so racing has a strong following here. We've had a lot of the Formula One teams visit us here in Austin, and they're always amazed about the Texas hospitality, the culture, the environment, how progressive the city is. So we're excited to welcome the world to Austin.
Building started last year, and they are confident that with the experience of well-known circuit designer Herman Tilke, they'll be ready by summer 2012.
We broke ground in December of 2010, and we knew that we had an aggressive timeline and needed to be racing in June of 2012. So we had a 14-month basic construction timeline, and we've been able to stay on that. And again, we're pretty confident, 100% confident actually, that we'll be racing in June of 2012.
Though the F1 date is likely to be moved to November, the circuit is keeping to its schedule, with other major events also on the calendar, from MotoGP to V8 supercars. But F1 is the driving force behind the design, inspired by circuits such as Silverstone, the Istanbul Park and Hockenheim. But there's one part of the circuit that sets out to beat all the rest.
The highlights of the circuit really is turn one. 133 feet of natural elevation change, and then going into a kind of a blind downhill left-hand hairpin. I think for a driver it's going to be a very, very unique experience. One of the drivers, Lewis Hamilton, his answer was a one-word answer, was wicked. And with Grand Prix racing, a lot of the tracks you're looking at flat circuits, so from a fan experience, do you see 5 seconds, do you see 10 seconds? We see a situation where you can see maybe 75 to 80% of the track and some of the viewpoints. Your viewing experience is going to be quite phenomenal.
Fans will have their opinions, but it's the drivers who will ultimately decide whether the circuit is a success. And so far the word in the F1 paddock is positive.
Looks pretty impressive actually. If they do it exactly as per the plans, that will be very impressive. It's very undulating, good mix of corners. I think it'll be pretty interesting.
I think we're all very excited about going back to America. NASCAR, there's so much overtaking, and it's a real spectacle, which is what the Americans always want. Formula One is in a position right now where the racing's great, the overtaking's great. Hopefully we're going to hit America running, and the Texas Grand Prix is going to work out well.
At the moment, NASCAR leads the way in the United States, but Formula One is stepping up its game. A recent car swap between Lewis Hamilton and Tony Stewart at Watkins Glen, home of the US Grand Prix for 20 years, proved the appetite is there.
Recently they had the Mobil 1 car swap. So I think it was very exciting for fans and for motorsports enthusiasts to be able to see that. Formula 1 is the top form of racing in the world. And the motorsports enthusiast, the motorsports fan in the United States realizes that. So it's different from NASCAR, it's different from IndyCar, it's really the highest form of racing. The reception of the US fans will be phenomenal.
But if it is to be a real success, the Americans would love to see homegrown talent break into F1.
Formula One racing in other parts of the world, it's a very nationality-driven sport. So teams being based, drivers being from countries. You're looking at the Circuit of the Americas, again, drawing from Mexico. Will we have Esteban Gutierrez? Will we have Sergio Perez? It's very important for the U.S. to understand and to be able to deliver Formula One quality drivers.
So, quite unbelievably, in under a year, the site will transform into a racetrack, and Button is in no doubt what's in store.
It's going to be hot there, I've heard, so that's something we have to get used to.
The weather in Austin, Texas is great. There are over 300 days of sunshine. To my friend Jensen, I can only say the real heat is going to be on the racetrack.